Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Carlos from Carlos and Jane Vlogs. If you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and also enable the notifications. So today we're going to take a look at the Dell Latitude 3480 laptop. I've looked on YouTube and I didn't really see too many videos of this computer. This is a 14-inch laptop that Dell released back in 2017. I purchased this particular unit in August. It was for a work-at-home job that I was doing at the time. So at the front of the computer, there's not much other than just a charge light. There's no other indicators or buttons of any nature. On the side, there's the power adapter, AC adapter slot or connector, the Ethernet port, that's an HDMI, and that's the first USB slot, the second USB slot, and then finally the headphone jack. I have a mixed feeling of that jack because it actually wore out and doesn't work anymore. Okay, so on the back there's not really much aside from that grill, and then there's a real small slot right there which you use to with a screwdriver to pry off the bottom cover. On this side you have the SD card reader, and then there's the USB port. This is the third USB port, the VGA connector, and then a security lock slot. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the computer. Doing it with one hand was a little hard, so I had to just shake it a little bit. So this is a 14-inch 1920 by 1080 Full HD screen. This is non-touch, and it's also a matte texture, so you don't have that glossiness on your face. Above is a webcam, which you can use for video calls and stuff. It is the basic version. There was another version of this camera which was used for the Windows Hello, Windows Hello face unlock. This is the fingerprint reader. It works quite well. You just put your finger on it at the login screen, and it takes you right into Windows. This screen is actually a replacement. The old screen got damaged. The base was kind of warped, and it messed up the display. The keyboard is also new, which you'll see in just a moment. This keyboard was originally just a plain keyboard, but the replacement one that I found on eBay is actually lighted, which you can see here. It looks good from an angle, but then when you go above, it's kind of dim in some spots. Okay, so aside from the screen and the keyboard, most of the computer is original, including that touchpad. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn it on. Despite the poor quality of this computer, it performs reasonably well. The more memory you have in it, the better it will perform. Okay, so now here we are at the Windows login screen. So let's go ahead and log into Windows. I created a secondary account just for demonstration purposes, so all my junk wouldn't be visible to the whole world. Okay, so now we're here at the Windows desktop. With a high-resolution screen, Windows will actually magnify parts to make it easier to see. In a moment, this is what you'll be able to see what the screen actually looks like when it's at full resolution. Really quick on a side note, this is the gesture capability of the touchpad. 2 fingers will allow you to scroll. If you use the 2 fingers and spread them in, you zoom in. No, you zoom out, and spreading them away zooms in. Okay, so this is at 100% magnification. As you can see, everything is quite small and takes advantage of the high resolution of the screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that out. We'll go ahead and open Chrome, and then we'll just take a look at some stuff here and there. Okay, so Chrome didn't take that long to open up. Let's go ahead and open up a website. There we go. But we'll come back to that. So now I'm just gonna scroll down. Let's open up a program just really quick just to see how it performs. We can try like WordPad, for example. Pretty snappy performance. Here's the control panel. This particular computer has the i7 7th generation processor, which actually only supports Windows 10 or Linux variations. Some of these computers came with the older 6th generation processors, which will use Windows 7 or Windows 8. And also they came with the Intel Celeron processor as well. So now we're going to take a look at a video showing Jane for the audio quality.
And I will show you how to do it. So without further ado, let's go and start the video. Okay, so for our ingredients we have a loaf of bread, cooked ham, hot dog.
Okay, so that was a little fun right there. Now let's take a look at a bit of gaming on the computer. This computer actually has 2 graphics processors. The first one is the Intel HD Graphics 620, and then it also has an AMD graphics card for secondary use. So this game is the Grand Theft Auto 5 game. Yes, it is modded. I'm sure you recognize the car that I'm driving. I couldn't help it. I thought it was just funny. Alright, so let's get on the road now. It's kind of hard to drive with one hand and holding the camera on, making sure I don't hit anybody. But I'm probably going to anyway. Ooh, ouch. I would never want to do that with my own car. Okay, so let's keep going. Ooh, ouch, 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 ouch. Eee. And again, definitely not my day. But it's okay, it's just fantasy. So now let's go ahead and kick it up a bit, and let's increase the resolution of the game. I'll also put it in full screen. This particular game is running in DirectX 10. It also supports DirectX 11, but I don't think this computer would handle it quite well. Okay, so I'm also enabling a full screen now. Okay, so there we go. This is a moderately high resolution. I think it was 1440. Yeah, 1440 by 900. Okay, so now you can see it start to slow down. It's still playable, mostly, but if the game gets more intense... Ah, here we go again, hitting the dang car. And again, what a poor little car. I don't like that, so I'm going to fix that right now. Let's just pull over. Okay, so using the cheating shortcut menus that these mods allow you to do, can actually bring up a secondary menu. That is actually a feature of the computer which you just saw. In the settings, the computer will reverse the function button to where you don't have to press it, but it creates a problem when you need to actually use the F keys like F1 to F10 or F12. So now let's just do this little thing with the game. It's kind of hard to do with one hand and holding the camera. Ah, my goodness, we're just getting the wrong stuff here. There. Fix vehicle. Okay, let's get rid of this menu and let's keep driving. That's something that definitely needs to be fixed in the BIOS settings so that annoyance of the reversed function keys doesn't interfere. So, as you can see, it's still somewhat playable, but it's a little sluggish. But it's not too bad. Not too bad for what it is, a budget laptop from 2017. Okay. So let's go ahead and just look around. You can see how it's stuttering a little bit. Very detailed game, actually. This is one of the first times I actually played it in full screen. Okay, so now we're going to really push it. This is 1920 by 1080. As you can see, it's a little more choppy and a little more hard to control. Just kind of like how I hit that tree and smashed the front end. So it's definitely not recommended to play at that level. Not for this kind of computer. This is not a gaming computer. This is just regular office work, presentations, stuff like that. Okay, so I think this will generally show what the computer can do. You can use it for web stuff, you can use it for office work, and just a little bit of gaming, nothing too fancy or serious. Let's go ahead and shut it down now. Oops, hit the wrong one. There. So once we shut down the computer, we're just going to wait for it to turn off. Windows 10 for some reason takes a while to shut down. It goes into a blank screen, but it's still running in the background until it's finally shut down. Okay, so now the computer is off. What I'm going to do is flip it over and we're going to open it up at the bottom. For the bottom piece, there you can see the speakers right there. This is the bottom grill, and then you see the rear grill right there. So we're going to take the cover off. It's just several Phillips screws that are actually integrated into the bottom casing so they don't come out all the way. The battery is a oh, that's something I forgot to mention. The battery also had to be replaced. So now that we have the cover off, you'll see that the memory's right there. I actually added one 4 gigabyte stick of RAM because it was very, very slow at the beginning. This is the processor heatsink right there for the main processor and then the secondary graphics processor. The battery doesn't look like it fits, like it's smaller because it's actually out of a different computer. The original battery had swollen up. The hard drive had also given me issues at some point, so I had to remove it, and the hard drive I put didn't exactly fit the little frame that it belonged to. So even though this battery doesn't fit, it actually does work. That is the headphone jack, which you can see right there. And lately, I've noticed that the wire, for the 3.5 millimeter wire, doesn't exactly sit there anymore, so it just falls out. So now I'm just stuck using a USB headset. I had to replace the screen as well, so the screen is actually quite easy to replace. Just loosen those screws on those hinges, disconnect the wiring in here, that's just the monitor, and Wi-Fi antenna wiring there. This is the main cover here. So to put it back together, just put it into place. You will have to snap it carefully. Just like so. And then take your Phillips screwdriver and put it back together. Sometimes there's corners or sections of the casing that don't exactly snap into place, so you have to press on it once more. Okay, we're slowly getting there. It's just a little hard to do with one hand, and trying to see if the screwdriver is oriented properly. Like right there, I was kind of struggling a bit. Okay, so that was a good look at the Dell Latitude 3480 laptop. Is it a good computer? Yes and no. Functionally, it works a lot better now than before when I only had 4 gigs of RAM. When it would get slow, the audio would also get messed up and you'd have to restart the computer. Reliability-wise, I've had to replace the keyboard, the battery, the screen, and I had to do a reinstallation of Windows. And even then, the factory Dell image for the hard drive wouldn't work properly at all. It would always crash and stuff. So a generic installation from Microsoft did the trick. If it's a computer to use in today's time, it's okay, I guess. I mean, you can take it up to 32 gigs of RAM, and the hard drive, you can put a generously sized hard drive in it, since it doesn't have the traditional BIOS as its default setup. So it will get you by, but it's definitely not a computer to keep for the long term. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and enable the notifications. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.